I want to say that there are two ways to create repository. The first one is to create the new one locally. The second option is to clone existing repository. In this lesson we are going to cover only the first option, and the second option will be covered in other lesson when we'll learn what remote repositories are. Our goal during this course is not to learn thousands of fancy Git commands that you won't use. Instead, we are going to focus on practice and learn everything what you need for your current or the future job. That's why most part of the lesson we'll spend practicing real-life scenarios. I will show you such main commands as git init, git add, git commit, and git status. Also in this lesson I will tell what a branch is. We'll discuss different cases when to use different commands with different attributes. Let's start, and the best way to understand this topic is to practice. We are going to start from the creating Git repository locally. Here is our demo project. Imagine that we have some source code here in src folder. Here in bin folder we have compiled binary files. And we want to use Git to track changes in these files. Let's open Git bash here first. Now let's initialize the repository. Let's perform git init command. Type git init and press enter. Now you see that in parentheses there is a new word, master. Master is the main branch. What is a branch? Branches in Git are a part of everyday development process. Each branch contains a history of snapshots. Technically, we may call these snapshots with other words. Those are our commits. During the development, we'll switch branches to separate development of a new task or a new feature, and after that we'll merge branches. Master is our single and the main branch which we have right after repository creation. How to do operations with branches we are going to learn in the next lessons. After we executed git init command, .git folder was created in our project. It is hidden by default. So, make sure you enabled view of hidden folders, and here it is. You don't have to change files here manually. Just in case you are interested, you can investigate how Git stores configurations and history of the project. Now, when we have Git repository initialized in our folder, we want to track changes in existing files. The first thing that you need to understand in this lesson is that files can exist in one of two states, tracked and untracked. In short, tracked files are files that were present in the last snapshot of your files. Those are files that Git is aware of. Untracked files are files that are present in the working directory but that were not in the last snapshot and are not in the staging area. To tell Git that you want to track changes in file, we need to execute git add command. Git add command adds files to the staging area. Do you remember first lesson when I told you about staging area? That's the area where we place files that we want to commit. We can add one file or multiple files. For example, to add one file I have to write the following: git add license txt. If I want to add multiple files, I can type space and type new file name. For the sake of example, let it be readme.md. Now you can press enter. To check what is the status of your repository, on which branch you are and whether there are stage changes to be committed, we have to type next git command, git status. Here I can see that 2 files were added to staging area, and the rest of the files were not, including all files that are in directories bin and src. To clear git bash console, you can press Ctrl and L simultaneously. Now it is much better. We can add multiple files with the help of the mask. For example, if you want to add all files with Java extension, I need to type the following: git add *.java. Asterisk here means files with any name but that has Java extension. Let's press enter. We see here that line feed is changed with carriage return and line feed characters. Let's now check git status. I use arrow up key to check commands which I recently entered. Here is a Git status. I press enter, and you see, now Java file is also added to the staging area. By the way, in case you don't like such verbose status, you can use short version of Git status. Git status -s. You can see that there is a letter with the status. Either files are added to the staging area, modified, and not added. If we want to add all files, we can just use dot like this. Git add dot. Here dot means all possible names and extensions. And if we would check Git status now, we are going to see that now all files in my project are ready to be committed. Now when all files are in staging area, let me commit these changes. We have to type the next command. Git commit -m init commit in quotes. M flag in this case stands for message. Each snapshot of our file system should have message. Usually this message is used to describe the changes that were made in scope of this commit. You can use -m flag because it is very convenient to leave commit message in line with commit command. In case you forgot to specify .m flag, the default text editor will be opened. Let's use inline message command. Usually the commit message of the first commit is init commit. Press enter. Here you see that Git created a snapshot. Let's check status. And you can see that there is nothing to commit because there were no any other changes from the last commit. Let me clear console. By the way, in case you forget any command, you always can ask Git to give you a hint. There are two options. The first option, type help after a command that you want to use. For example, git status --help. And you can see that page from manual is opened automatically in your web browser. Here you can find command description and all possible options how you can use this. The second option is to type shortcut from help like this, git status -h. And you are going to see a list of options that you can use with this command right here in console. One more thing that I wanted to show you in this lesson is how you can combine adding to stage and commit in one command. For example, let me do a modification in one of the source code files. I will add one more space in some line. Let's check short status. And we see that we have one file modified. Let me commit this file and adding it to the staging area simultaneously. Just type the following: git commit -a-m new changes and press enter. Git automatically staged every file that is already tracked before doing the commit, letting you skip the part where we have to add files to the staging area and perform git add command. Okay, now let's recap what we have learned today. Today we learned how to create local Git repository. You know what a branch is. Today you also understand the difference between tracked and untracked files. Together we told Git to track files and added them to the staging area. Now you know how to commit snapshot of your files. And also we learned how to request a hint from Git and how to use help command.